They don't always cry. They don't always scream for help. Sometimes, the most heartbreaking thing about an ignored child is how quiet they become. They sit in the corner, silent, watching everyone else get heard, wondering if anyone will ever notice them. Being ignored doesn't just mean being abandoned. It can happen in a home filled with laughter, where parents say, "I love you," but are too busy, too tired, or too distracted to truly listen. For a child, attention isn't a luxury, it's a form of survival. Every look, every smile, every response tells them you exist. You matter. But when those signals disappear, when the silence stretches on for too long, a child's brain begins to panic. The amygdala, the part of the brain that processes fear and danger, goes on high alert. It doesn't understand why love has gone quiet, just feels unsafe. Psychologists call this emotional neglect. It's one of the most silent and invisible forms of childhood trauma. There are no bruises, no visible scars to point to, yet the pain runs deep. And often, the child doesn't cry for help because they've learned early on that no one will come. They adapt. Ignored children develop survival modes that can stay with them for life. Some become invisible. They learn to be quiet, obedient, and never ask for too much. They figure out that being small, unnoticed, and self-sufficient is much safer than being seen and then ignored all over again. Others take the opposite path. They rebel. They act out, shout, fight, and break rules, because even negative attention feels better than no attention at all. To them, being scolded is proof that they still exist. But deep down, both the quiet child and the rebellious one are asking the same exact question. Can you see me now? When affection and validation are inconsistent, the brain's reward system gets confused. The child starts to chase attention like an addiction, desperate for any sign that they are valued. They might cling to teachers, friends, or even strangers, anyone who offers them just a glimpse of care. Every ignored moment reinforces the same painful belief: I am not enough. As they grow older, those beliefs take root and harden. In school, the ignored child might hesitate to raise their hand, terrified of looking foolish or being overlooked again. As teenagers, they become experts at hiding their feelings, hiding their needs, hiding their pain. They tell themselves that needing other people is a weakness, and that vulnerability only leads to disappointment. But the truth is, they're not cold, they're scared. Scared that if they open up, no one will care. Scared that if they speak, no one will listen. These patterns follow them directly into adulthood. The ignored child often becomes the adult who apologizes for everything. The one who says it's fine even when it's not. The one who always puts others first because deep down, they don't believe they deserve to take up space. They might find themselves in one-sided relationships, tolerating neglect, or avoiding love altogether. Not because they want to suffer, but because neglect feels familiar. To them, it's what love has always looked like. Ignored children often grow up with what psychologists call insecure attachment. They crave closeness, yet they fear it at the same time. When someone finally pays attention to them, it feels both comforting and terrifying. They might pull away, convinced it's only temporary, or they might cling on too tightly, afraid of being abandoned again. For them, love is unpredictably something that can vanish without warning. Their nervous system, conditioned by years of emotional emptiness, stays on constant alert. They expect distance, not warmth. They expect silence, not understanding. This is what makes healing so incredibly difficult. Even when genuine care finally appears in their life, they struggle to fully trust it. Their mind whispers, "Don't get used to it, it won't last." The coping mechanisms of the ignored child often appear in subtle ways. They might become perfectionists, chasing success, grades, or achievements, just to earn the validation they never received freely as a child. Or they might become people pleasers, constantly scanning others for approval, terrified of disappointing anyone. Some even turn their pain inward, numbing themselves through isolation, overwork, or complete emotional detachment. When you grow up ignored, you learn to meet your own needs in silence. You become your own comfort, your own listener, your own best friend. But the human heart was never meant to carry everything alone. Over time, that loneliness becomes heavy, and the ignored child inside the adult starts whispering again, asking quietly, "When will someone finally see me?" What's even more heartbreaking is that many ignored children grow up to become emotionally unavailable parents themselves. It's not because they don't love their own children, but because no one ever taught them how to connect emotionally. They may repeat the same pattern, thinking distance equals strength, or that children should just be tough. In reality, they are reenacting what they learned, that emotions are too much, that needs are inconvenient, and that silence is safer. The cycle continues, generation after generation, until someone finally decides to break it. But here's the good news. Healing is possible. It begins with awareness. It starts the moment an adult recognizes that the emptiness they feel has a name. That their constant fear of being forgotten didn't just come from nowhere. It came from childhood, from all those moments they felt unseen. Healing means learning to reparent yourself, to give yourself the attention, care, and validation you were once denied. This isn't about blaming parents forever, but about understanding how your inner world was shaped. Simple acts like writing your feelings down, speaking your truth in therapy, and surrounding yourself with people who truly listen can slowly begin to rewire your brain. Each small act of self-compassion teaches your nervous system a new, powerful message. I am safe now. I am heard. Over time, the ignored child within learns to trust again. They learn that silence doesn't always mean rejection, that attention doesn't have to be earned, that love can exist without pain. It's a long and challenging process, often filled with setbacks, but each moment of being seen, whether by another person or by yourself, is a powerful step toward healing. You start to notice things differently. The world feels a little less cold. The voices that once said you don't matter begin to fade. And for the very first time, you might realize you were never invisible. You were just unseen by the wrong eyes. Ignored children grow up believing they have to work hard just to deserve love, but real love doesn't need to be earned. It simply exists. It sees you, even when you're quiet. It listens, even when you don't know what to say. Healing means finding that love within yourself and with others, and finally learning to believe you deserve it, because you do. The truth is, no child deserves to feel invisible. Every child deserves to be seen, heard, and understood. And every adult who was once that ignored child deserves to come home to themselves, to finally look in the mirror and whisper, I see you. So, if you've ever felt unseen, forgotten, or unheard, please remember this. Your existence is proof that you matter. The world is quieter without your voice and emptier without your presence. You are not invisible. We're just waiting for someone, maybe even yourself, to truly notice. And now that you do, the healing can finally begin. If any of this resonated with you, remember you are not alone, and help is available. Seeking support from a mental health professional can be a transformative step on your journey. Thanks for watching.